My name is Nadia Musaji. I'm the co-founder at WomHub and Womenge.
Kenna and Zoe. I'm a Nigerian-American entrepreneur. I run a company called Relief.
My name is Tesh Mbabu. I run Market Force. I'm the co-founder and CEO.
I'm Zachariah George. I'm the managing partner at Launch Africa Ventures.
Marvin Lubega, co-founder at GoOne.
As an organization, we've been growing, and I think one of the best and most strategic hires we've made is a chief operating officer. And that's just because it made my life such a blessing to have the right person in. And I think that's really interesting and important for founders, is to be able to make sure that when you grow and you may be outgrowing your company, to make sure that the team that you're leaving behind can carry on the legacy and the vision in a way that speaks to our values and speaks to our purpose.
I'll share a story about our first employee. His name is Deji. So he was in the first cohort of Andela's software developers, which is another Harambean company. And he joined our company kind of on a part-time basis to do some software development. Anyway, after we had gone through Y Combinator and decided to pivot the business model that we were working on, the requirements of the business didn't require as much software development. So Deji started helping us out with sourcing from farmers. He ran one of our factory operations, and he's kind of spanned the gamut of the business.
So what we did early on in our journey, we set up an ESOP, employee stock option plan, and that was super valuable for the business. We were able to bring on board somebody who's like really into finance and ops early on, like an ex-PwC guy. He still runs on ops and finance today, and that was thanks to the ESOP.
There is an old saying where you hire slow and fire fast. A lot of people say it, very few people do it. When you hire young people out of university, all the way up to, I'd say, 35 years of age, you need them to be hard workers. If you're not willing to work at least 12 to 13 hours a day, and you feel that you're entitled to have this, to have that, to have all these perks when it's your first or second job, you really shouldn't be working in this industry.
I think, often we focus on talent, but talent starts at home and starts at the beginning. And I think for us, I always say rather have 50% of something than 100% of nothing. And I think I've been fortunate in my life to have really strong team members, both at the founding team level, and that sets the culture, the tone, the vision, the values. And so from that perspective, probably the best capital decision I've made, or talent decision I've made in my life, has been through my founding team and the partners.
We've actually just gone on a very interesting recruitment round where we said you don't actually have to be based in Johannesburg, where our head office is. You can actually be based anywhere in the world. And we have gotten the most amazing talent apply for our company. And so the thing is that COVID has been terrible for many reasons, but it's been positive in making remote work very normal.
When we started our company, we were like a group of college students working together and building the business. And as we kind of morphed from a software business into a manufacturing business, we've had to learn a lot of new things as a team. And I think if we could have had kind of a grown-up, if you will, or someone who had experience in manufacturing on our early team, it could have helped us avoid a lot of the lessons that had to be learned by doing the thing.
So top 3 lessons around talent. I believe people are any business and organization. And so from that perspective, if you are a manager, CEO, you're in the business of talent. And so that's a skill set you need to build out. Whether it comes down to managing people, get the best out of people, just really helping them achieve their success. And so for me, I'm a big believer that, we all say that, people don't leave companies, they leave managers. And so the question really comes down to, what are you doing as an entrepreneur, as a CEO, as a manager, or as a mentor to someone? What are you doing to make that experience for that particular person extraordinary?
We have a hybrid model, so we have volunteers as well as full-time staff that work for us. And what's been interesting for us is to understand what drives volunteering. So why would you come and volunteer your time with a company versus a paid member of staff? And it's really around passion and around understanding why people want to give their time, their energy, and their effort. And I think I would definitely better reward our volunteers in ways that speak to their recognition for what they want to be doing, right, and helping them with their aspirations.
So we've also had a situation where we had like an ops guy who was coming out of very traditional business. We thought that, the combination of his experience in ops and our new age, like fast, innovative thinking would blend, but it was a total non-fit from a culture perspective, because all the solutions he was bringing were not really innovative. So as much as he had strong operational experience, it was not a good culture fit. So what we learned from that is be slow to hire and faster to fire.
Something which I've discovered is my best hires are often related to hires you already have in the business. And so I think it's thinking, how does one actually leverage their best employees and best people to actually get the next best person in the organization? I think for me, that's been a big insight in terms of just our growth globally. Ultimately, your best brand ambassadors are your talent. And I think it's about using that ecosystem to grow talent thereafter.
The advice I'd give an entrepreneur that is starting out is make sure that when you are hiring, to really test people upfront. When you're starting out and you're looking for talent, make sure that you're testing them, because what we found that people who came from big branded universities or who are like ex-management consultants from big consulting houses test really badly.
I think it's really important to have a balanced team and balanced perspectives, especially on the co-founding team. It's really important that people bring different things to the table, but that they also have a shared way in which they make decisions. You don't just lead by being the loudest voice in the room, but thinking about who has a track record of solving problems and relying on their expertise.
Realize how important people are. People is the engine to any successful startups, because if you think about product, engineering, marketing, everything, there is a huge element of skill and strategy, but at the end of the day, it's always people who are building.
A decision that you make with hiring needs a lot of patience and understanding of what you want from a culture fit and a company values perspective. Aptitude can be taught, attitude can't be taught, right? So it is super important as founders to get the right alignment of cultures and values in your organization.
I have a mentor who specifically mentors me on talent acquisition at our company, and her biggest piece of advice is to really, push yourself to find people who maybe your business doesn't even deserve to hire yet. So to basically pitch at folks that you really admire and try and get them interested in your vision. And as your business matures, you may find the right collaboration point.
When we're looking to hire somebody, we start the other way around. So we start with a culture interview rather than a technical interview. And the reason we do that is because you might be the best at what you do, but with the wrong attitude, you end up affecting the entire organizational culture and messing things up.
I think we've got an immeasurable amount of talent on the continent. Our most valuable resource isn't kind of our mineral wealth or our agricultural, baskets that we have, or the tech companies that are going to create the next unicorn. It's actually the people that are going to be driving this.
A brain gain instead of a brain drain is my vision for talent on the continent. So I grew up in the US and came back to Nigeria immediately after graduation. And I hope that our story and our journey as a business will inspire other Africans in the diaspora or folks that have left for other countries to come back and contribute to developing the nations.
There isn't a shortage of talent, there isn't a shortage of opportunity. There's a shortage of a clear marketplace where the best talent meets the best companies. So the process of recruitment and hiring needs to be democratized, it needs to be more open source.